What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video, it's a new channel, isn't it?
I think we haven't done these people before.
We haven't done these guys before, so go and check them out, but wait till the end of this video. The link will be in the description, and it's 15 differences between British and American houses. Should be good.
I like the fact they got a cup of tea.
We've got a cup of tea as well. Oh, I should have had a cup of tea. You know, I kind of feel like I want a cup of tea as well.
It's the end.
It's winter. It's a bit cold.
It is.
I'd be loving life if I had a cup of tea right now.
You actually are obsessed, I think, with cup
I do like tea. That's actually made me quite jealous. Smash that like button anyway. We got off topic there. Smash that subscribe button as well, you absolute legends. What is the like goal for today?
2.
2. That's going to be difficult. We've never done these before. I hope you guys enjoy them. Hope you enjoy us reacting to it as well. We just react. If you don't enjoy it, then well, you have to click on a different video. But hopefully you do. We're going to try because we were a bit hasty in the video the other day. We're going to be pausing a lot. It's one of them where we've got our own opinions on the houses. Moved into our own flats. We've got our opinions now as well. So we are going to be pausing a lot, but we're going to let them explain theirs. Yeah. And then interject and cut them down with ours. All agree. All agree. Smash that like button, guys. Smash the subscribe button. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
15 differences between British and American houses. What we got?
Hey guys, I'm Eric.
And I'm Grace. We're the Wandering Ravens.
We're an American couple with a deep love for all things UK.
Americans with
so
tea?
today we're drinking Yorkshire tea and exploring the differences between...
That's the best tea. That is genuinely the best tea. You know what? They've got a sub from me already. They've got a sub from me.
British and American homes.
Shout out to our friends Jeff and Connie from the UK for sending us this delicious tea. This is a really exciting episode because we've lived in 9 different British houses and dozens of American houses. So we've compiled a rather modest list of differences between British and American homes.
Okay, we've got experience.
Before we get into those, if learning about how we provincial Yanks live causes you to cackle with glee, then make sure you click subscribe because we release new UK versus USA videos every single Saturday.
Also, make sure you give this video a like to promote it on YouTube, and because if you don't, I will put this tea bag back in my tea.
Ooh,
okay, the first thing we need to talk about are the differences between the way Brits and Americans talk about the places we live.
In the UK, we would call this a terraced house.
But in the United States, we call this...
Why are you Australian?
Am I Australian?
Yeah, you have to sound like you're from the South.
South.
In the UK, we call this a terraced house.
In the United States, we call this a townhouse. I did it again.
It's still Australian, isn't it?
So confused.
I'm so confused as well. Yeah, terrace house, isn't it? Yeah. Spot on with that.
You sounded Australian again.
I'll just say it in my normal voice.
Isn't he American?
Yeah. Up next, we have a semi-detached house.
Which, of course, we would call a duplex or triplex.
In the UK, this is a detached house.
Yep.
And here in good old Yankee land, this is simply a house.
And
makes sense.
Last but not least, of course, we have a flat.
Which, here in America, we call an apartment or condominium. Or condo. And we've heard a lot of people express confusion about the terms apartment and condo, so let's clear that up real quick. Basically, an apartment building is where all the units are owned by the same company or person and they're leased out individually. But a condo could be the same thing as an apartment building in look and appearance, except that all of the units are owned individually. From what I understand, in the UK, there is no distinction between those two. It's simply a flat.
Everything is a flat.
There you go. So we live in a condo.
We do, but we do call it, sometimes we'll say flat or apartment.
Yeah, we do say apartment
as well. We do say apartment sometimes.
Never, I mean, in our experience, I imagine yours, never heard condo, only on American TV programs. So condo is not a thing.
I'd say we definitely say apartment.
Apartment, like you say, I work in the building industry, and it is apartment 5.
Apartment
we use apartment. Yeah. But then if you're just casually talking to your mate or something, you say, oh yeah, we're in a flat.
I feel like if you're referring to the whole building, like, I don't think I'd say, oh, the flat block.
No.
I'd say the apartment block.
Yeah, apartment block. Sometimes you'd say, oh, we're in flats.
I'd say we live in an apartment block. Our flat is number.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you know, you definitely would. So we interchange, but condo is not a thing, is it?
But we actually do live in a condo.
We live in a condo. There we go. We learned something new.
According to you guys, we do.
According to you guys.
Now that we've defined our terms, let's talk about who lives in what. So, kicking things off with the Yanks, 72% of Americans live in houses.
Okay.
20% live in apartments, 20% live in mobile homes or trailers, and 3% live in other accommodations such as RVs, vans, and boats.
Across the pond, the numbers are fairly similar, with a little over 79% of Brits living in houses, 20% living in flats, and less than 1% living in other housing like vans, RVs, igloos, and old shoes.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. When it comes to houses, the big difference here is that while 61% of Americans live in detached houses, only 24% of Brits live in detached houses.
Yes.
This difference is easy to explain, though, given that American suburbs can basically roll on forever, and so there's a lot more room to build detached houses.
Yeah.
Whereas ours would be all close together.
Basically, you'd have basically a semi-detached, semi-detached,
You'd have a row like that, and it'd be like
terraced.
Yeah, they'd be semis, and they'd be like the other side would be a garage or something.
Yeah, definitely. It is literally, as they said, they're spot on, in my opinion at least. We've got less space, so we can't just put a house there, give everyone a massive garden. Some people obviously have massive gardens, but everyone can have it. We've got to fill our space. You guys are like, yeah, we'll just go into the next field. It's that big. It's ridiculous how big you guys are.
Yeah, that was something that really gave us a culture shock when we first arrived in the UK. It was just the rows upon rows of semi-detached or terraced houses. They're really cool, though. They look very nice.
They are. I kind of feel like I would like to live in a terraced house. Terrorist?
A terrorist house?
That's not what I meant.
Now let's roll into our next difference. Look at the
I'll tell you what, I'd definitely prefer to live in a house. Like, you know, if you get a garden, you get a massive garden, hopefully you get more room.
On top of you.
Not neighbours, like I say, on top of you, so it's definitely a myth you'd probably want to live in a semi-detached.
Plans and talk about house size. Something that surprised us was that in the UK, the average house size is 76 square meters, or for our Yankee friends, that's 818 square feet, which is not only smaller than the average American house, but is also smaller than the average house in Australia, Denmark, France, Spain, and even Ireland.
Small
American houses, on the other hand, are nearly 3 times larger than British homes, coming in at an average size of 214 square meters, or 2,303 square feet.
That's huge! That is a huge house.
Yeah,
that is
really
big.
Now let's talk about flats. The average one-bedroom flat in the UK is 46 square meters, or 495 square feet. While in the USA, the average one-bedroom apartment or condo is 70 square meters, or 757 square feet.
Here's another really interesting thing I discovered while doing research for this video. If these numbers that we're shouting off, you know, square footage, size of the house, and all that, if those mean nothing to you, don't worry, you're not alone, because a recent study by Barclays Bank found that 57% of Brits don't know the size of their home, don't even know how big their house is, the square meterage or footage, and 25% of Brits don't actually know what a square meter or foot even is.
That's actually quite shocking.
This makes sense because we have looked for properties in the UK before, homes in the UK, when we're like, what if we immigrated to the UK? We've looked at homes for sale, and it's very rare to have the square meterage listed at all. So you're like, how big is this place? I have no idea.
This is true because if you're shopping for homes in the States, which whenever we move to a new city, because we do house sitting, whenever we pop up in a new city, we always go on and look at all the real estate to see what housing costs there. And if you look at a housing website here in the States, it's going to list everything by size. So you can sort by square footage. You can say, I want a minimum of 1,000 square feet, or I want a place between 800 and 1,000 square feet. And most Americans will know the size of their house. So
that's a weird one to me. Just because, I mean, we've only ever looked for a house in Jersey.
Yeah.
We've only ever looked for a flat.
Yeah, so and we got the square feet on it.
Yeah, I can only speak for flats. And then at my property, like the company I work for, when we sell new builds, we list the square footage.
I think it's a Jersey thing.
I don't know. I just assumed in the UK it was the same. Maybe houses, when you're selling your house, maybe because it's 2 floors, you've got to do a plan and stuff like that, they don't want to take it.
But I know when we were looking for flats, everyone we looked at, we always looked at what the size was.
Yeah, definitely. We had the square foot and the square meters both on there. So maybe it's a house thing. All I can think of is someone's got a house, they don't want to measure it up and stuff like that. It's harder to measure up a house than a flat, so they've just put it on, you can look at it, whereas a flat's easier. But yeah, I always assumed everyone did, to be fair. So it'll be interesting when we go to buy a house, we'll know whether we get a square footage or not. Let us know in the comments if you've experienced that in the UK or in the US, if you ever had it where you haven't had the square meters or square foot, because that'll be interesting as well, your experience. Let us know in the comments.
I think this difference between real estate in the UK and the US and listing square footage is probably why most Brits don't know the size of their home. But if you're British, do let us know. Do you know why British real estate companies don't mention the square footage? Because it is very frustrating when we're looking for homes in the UK, which we do rather regularly, and we don't know how big this house is. So I'm like, oh, that, you know, this house only costs £200,000, but I don't know how big it is, so I can't tell if this is a good deal or a terrible deal.
It's probably just like one of those little like stick huts in the backyard.
It's the shoe. It's the old lady's shoe.
Now let's step through the front door and talk about the next difference between British and American homes, which is rooms. So, kicking things off with British homes, the average British house will have a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom or two, a couple of bedrooms, the dining room, and of course, some homes will have the odd conservatory or dungeon.
And we're probably
that makes sense. Basement, but
because we would say conservatory.
But you guys would probably say conservatory?
Yeah, conservatory.
Yeah, conservatory.
I would love to have one in my future probable home someday.
Which might be a British home if we ever figure out the square footage. Now let's jump across the pond and look at the bog standard American house. The bog standard American house will have all of these rooms that we just listed, except for conservatories and of course, dungeons. But the American house will have some rooms that we don't see in the UK very often. These rooms include the laundry room or utility room, the food pantry where you store food, the garage.
So all the homes I've lived in Jersey, growing up, we always had a utility room.
Yeah, I think Jersey's more of a common thing to have
Jersey, definitely, we always had a utility room, and most of them we had a garage.
Whereas in the UK, a lot of the washing machine stuff like that goes into the kitchen and stuff like that. Even like at my dad's stuff like that, we had it in the garage because we had a garage.
But mine were in a utility room.
Yeah, Jersey definitely has a lot of utility rooms. I think it is more UK semi-detached houses. A lot of them, you put your washing machine in the kitchen.
Yeah. The basement and the den or office. Of course, we understand that some British homes, the ones on the larger side, do have these rooms as well, but we've only seen them in 1 or 2 out of the 9 homes that we've stayed in so far. Now let's talk about house construction.
One thing we noticed while we were in the UK was that most homes seem to be built out of brick or stone, whereas across the pond in the US, most of our houses are built out of wood.
And this is a question we've received from a lot of Brits, both in person and in the comment sections. Why are American homes made out of cheap, flimsy wood?
Would you build your ship out of rocks? That is my question. Would you build it out of rocks? I think not.
Yeah,
Do you know why?
No, I don't get it.
I think, I may be wrong, I'm going to take a guess.
The big bad wolf will come and blow it down. It's wood.
Well, that's what I was actually going to go on.
Blow our brick down.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Because when you come to earthquakes, I think this is the reason for earthquakes and stuff like that. It's more flexible, so it ain't falling down. Brick, that's crumbling, that's falling down.
They still do fall down.
With tornadoes and stuff like that, but they're less likely, they're more protected. A tornado's going to get down either way, isn't it, I guess? But that may be the reason, it may not.
I thought wood would have been like less...
It's cheaper as well. It definitely is cheaper as well.
I'm not complaining though, because I do like the American houses anyway.
And then I guess as well, maybe in the UK, like when you go to Fire London stuff like that, well, now we're going off topic because we're guessing, we have really close houses all the time. If it's wood, it spreads quite quickly. In America, it's a lot more gaps. If one did unfortunately set on fire, it's less likely to spread, so you can get away with using it.
Yeah.
Would be my guess, but other than that, let's find out.
That's true. Case closed. No, but seriously, wood is cheap, strong, it's renewable, and it also lasts forever. There's, I think the oldest American house that's made out of wood dates all the way back to the 1600s. And in the UK, you guys have wooden houses dating back to the 1300s. Another misconception that we hear a lot is that American homes are only made from wood. But there is a lot of regional variety. In some places in the States, wood is really rare, and most houses are actually built out of brick and masonry. And in parts of the States where there are wooden houses, they're generally a compilation of cinder blocks, bricks, stone, steel, beams, sheetrock. I think the difference here is that throughout the history of the UK, there's been this long history of deforestation. And so lumber hasn't been a plentiful resource. So it just makes sense. Brick and stone houses make sense there. Whereas in the States, we have lumber everywhere. And so it makes sense that houses are made out of wood. Okay. So I don't think one is like better than the other.
I think a stone cottage is better than the other.
That's true. I like the stone cottages. But I also like like the half-timbered houses, like Tudor houses and stuff like that.
Oh, Tudor houses are nice.
Those
To be
are
fair.
really nice. You don't like Tudor houses?
No, I like them, but I wouldn't want to live in one. I would want to live.
No,
I would
that
want to
freak
live in a stone cottage.
All right, now we're going to start talking about some of the fun miscellaneous differences between British and American homes, starting with washing machines.
Okay.
So it's common for British people to have their washing machines located in their kitchens.
Like we said.
Which was quite a surprise to us because here in the US, we have a separate room that is dedicated to washing your clothes.
Along a similar vein, 80% of American households have a clothes drying machine, while only 58% of British households do. In the UK, when we house sit, we have to get used to air drying our clothes. Yeah.
And it's always such a pain because the UK...
I've literally only just realised that doing this video, because I know we spoke about it before, we have a washing machine in our kitchen.
Yeah, we do.
I completely forgot about that.
But that's because we're in a flat.
Yeah, we're in a
I feel
flat.
like if we're in a... Yeah, I feel like in most houses in Jersey, they're probably in a utility room.
Definitely.
But in a flat, obviously, you're not going to have...
Yeah, so
I
we're...
mean, technically, we could put it in here.
We could do, but we are one of them people who have a washing machine in the kitchen, and we don't have a dryer.
Do you know what I saw? And I saw this thing, it was a picture. I think it might be in like a Scandinavian country or something.
Yeah.
But they had their washing machine in their bathroom.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, do you know what? Well, that's where you get unchanged.
That is true. Well,
Like,
you
why are you
just throw it
dragging your
straight
clothes
in.
into the kitchen? Just throw it in.
I suppose you got to have a big bathroom.
But then
to
also
fit in, haven't you?
electric in the bathroom probably isn't a good idea.
Yeah, you've got to have quite a big one, haven't you? You know what I mean? Because it's quite a big unit. But
Yeah.
let us know. Washing machines in the bathroom, does that make sense? But we haven't got a dryer, we've got an error. It's actually behind us at the moment, isn't it? So we're following the stereotypes. I don't know if that's a good thing or not,
I'm
but
not sure if there's a good...
we need more money.
But then, like, if you
Buy a
asked
utility
2
room.
months ago, if we'd have gone from what we do at your mum's,
Yeah.
we'd have gone from utility room
Yeah.
with a dryer. And
We would have.
we actually had to buy a dryer.
Yeah.
An air dryer.
Okay, is a little bit more damp. I feel like it takes a long time for anything to dry. It'll just stay perpetually wet for days.
Yeah.
It makes sense that in the UK, where you guys are more environmentally conscious in general than here in the States, you guys would forego having a drying machine.
I mean, it's
Although
much
I would
cheaper.
put this in the
It's
category
cheap,
of
it's not.
accidentally environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
Kind of like the house size. Like, it's not intentional, it's more a consequence of size constraints.
I think so.
But it's a positive consequence.
The next difference between British and American homes is closets. Closets are another feature of the American house. In fact, in standard real estate practice, it's common to not actually list a room as a bedroom unless it has a closet.
Wow.
Across the pond in the UK, we never saw a bedroom with closets. From what I remember, all of the homes we
Build your
stayed
own.
in either had a wardrobe for clothes or they had those fitted wardrobe things that go over the bed. Which at first we thought were really nice. We walked into a room with it and we were like, this looks so great. But the friends we were staying with quickly informed us that it's considered quite tacky and
It is,
poor taste.
unfortunately.
I wouldn't say, for me, it's not tacky.
me-
I'm just not a fan. I feel claustrophobic.
Yeah, it's not like, I don't think, oh, so you have that, you're tacky, but I personally wouldn't want it.
No, I just feel claustrophobic with it. But yeah, like you say, it's normally IKEA. You build your own wardrobe, you put it in the room, so you've got to take up space for your wardrobe. That's
We
the
were
common.
lucky that we got ours, but there's
We've got fitted in here, haven't we? So we're quite lucky.
Guys, have you ever seen one of those in the States?
I haven't. Have you?
Me neither. No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah. So you guys let us know, is this poor taste or is this
That's quite nicely done, though.
fashion?
That one
Another
looks
thing
nice.
about the closet craze is that it's a huge status thing to have like a walk-in closet. Like
It
if you
would be,
have
yes.
a walk-in closet,
Yeah. That's
why I want
you're
one.
like
Yeah, I'm really
making
nice.
it.
Yeah, you need to be able to display your thousands of pairs of shoes and pants and clothes and anyways.
Not pants.
Thousands of pairs of pants! The next big difference is porches. In the UK, we didn't really see any houses with porches, especially wraparound porches, a feature that is almost ubiquitous with American homes.
Porch furniture? Yes.
Porch swings.
Porch swings are really common.
Instead of having a porch, Brits seem to opt for a backyard patio or garden patio. And this reminds me of another difference that we noticed. You guys can confirm.
Definitely on that. I don't think I've ever seen a porch in the UK.
Porch.
It is very stereotypical on a movie to see, especially in the south of the US on a movie, like it's pointed towards the southerns, south side of the front of the
Yeah,
house
I don't think
with
we
a swing
do.
chair.
The only, it's not a porch, I'd say your mum has a balcony that has a porch swing on. But it's
veranda.
not really a porch, is it?
Yeah, because it's not really out looking at the road or
It's
anything
not
like
covered.
that. It's kind of away as well, isn't
It's
it?
not covered.
But yeah,
But that's the closest thing I think in the UK I've seen to.
everyone pretty much has patios if they've got a garden
Yeah.
as well. So
I
that's
think
spot on.
we even call our furniture for outside patio furniture.
patio furniture, literally.
or deny this for us, but it seems that British people prefer to hang out behind their house rather than in front of it.
More private.
Whereas Americans, it's a pretty even mix of both. In the UK, if you go to someone's house, you're always going to be in the garden, never in the front garden bit.
I actually prefer that because it feels more like you are in that person's space. Like, you know, it's more hospitable,
in the
more
garden.
welcoming. Yeah, in the back, as opposed to being in the front where all the neighbors can walk by and be like, oh, wonder what's happening over at Jackie's house today.
The next
difference is microwaves. Now, as you guys probably already know, it is very common for pretty much every American household to have a microwave in their kitchen. This is for reheating things like coffee or soup or even, God forbid,
Please don't
tea.
say Bruce.
Not just reheating tea, but actually boiling the water for tea.
Oh, that's
Still wouldn't
weird.
have done that before.
My family did it growing up.
Don't do that.
So you'd
Shame to
like
admit.
stick the water in there and like wait for it to boil, and then you pull it out and put the tea bag in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But it's really terrible because what it does is it heats up the mug itself. So you have to like use a napkin or something to pull it out of the microwave because the whole mug is on fire.
I've literally never done that. I thought when the Brits were making fun of us for doing that, that wasn't something any Americans did.
No, it's something Americans do. I'd like to say, I'm not throwing my family under the bus, they did eventually get rid of the microwave and now exclusively use an electric kettle.
The next difference
Another
is
kettle.
dishwashers.
So
Around
was that microwave thing?
29%.
Was that meant to be we don't have microwaves?
Because we definitely do have
We
microwaves.
definitely do. Some homes obviously don't. My
We
dad.
don't use them for that reason.
Yeah, we don't use them for hot water.
We use it for like microwavable food, like I don't know,
Microwavable food,
Rice.
popcorn. Ooh, popcorn in it is
heating
good.
up your dinner if you're missing dinner and you've got to heat up later on.
I'm saving my dinner for lunch tomorrow at work. I'm going to heat up in the microwave.
Yeah, I feel like microwaves are like when we went. Your dad never had a microwave, did he? And every time we went, we're like, why do we have a
Oh,
microwave?
yeah, we need a microwave. I
Like,
mean,
everyone has a microwave.
in our experience, we've always experienced a microwave. Dishwashers, definitely coming in more. I think, yeah, they're definitely coming in
I
more.
feel like they at first, even when I was growing up, they were if you had a dishwasher, you were rich.
Yeah, definitely.
But now I feel like people are because you can get them fitted in now. People are getting there.
Integrated
and,
dishwashers and stuff like that. They're
We've got
definitely coming more. We have got one.
It was integrated though.
It costs a fortune, so we don't use it, but we try not to.
British households have dishwashers in their home, whereas around 68% of American households have dishwashers.
Just like laundry machines and dryers, this makes a lot of sense. There's a lot less room in a British house, so you're not going to have room for a dishwasher. But on the plus side, since you have the clothes washing machine in the kitchen already, you can just chuck your tea mug and plates in there. Tumble wash.
Tumble wash them,
Imagine.
pull them
I
out.
like no.
Got your pants and your plates clean in the same load.
And
Nice.
smash plates.
The next difference is one I'm really excited about because I haven't seen anyone mention this before, and so this might be an Eric and Grace original. And this difference is hallways. While American homes do have hallways, they're not used quite the same way as they are in the UK. The big difference is that in the UK, when you walk into a house, you almost always walk into a hallway.
Yeah.
Of the 9 homes that we stayed in, I want to say 8 of those had you walking directly into a hallway rather than into, like we have in the States, into a living room, into a kitchen, or another sort of common area. So what I'm talking about is that in the UK, you have a house. So here's a house, beautiful, beautiful house. And you'll have the front door. Here's the front door. And then when you walk in, you have this hallway, and then very often you have stairs off to one side. So this is an example of a house that we stayed in Leeds. Come in the front door here. If you go through the back, there's some bedrooms back here. You go up the stairs to the second floor here if you want. But the thing that really tripped me up, and the thing that I want to ask you guys about, is that here, you have this hallway, you have these walls, and then you have a door. And if you walk through here, you walk into the living room. And what really confused me is why this hallway existed. Because it seems to me like if you just knock down these walls and this door, you would have a much bigger living room. It would increase by 2 to 3 feet. If you build
I like the hallway, though. I think it's more private.
Yeah.
Someone
Although, so I feel like I've not experienced, apart from which the point I'm going to say in a minute.
Okay.
In growing up, going like from a hallway into an open. But
Yeah.
the only experience I can say now, and why my opinions changed that I don't like hallways, is your dad's just had his hallway taken out, and I like the fact that you now go in just from his front door into the kitchen.
It's a little bit different though, because you open the front door and you're looking at the wall and you can't see in the kitchen. You have to actually go into the property, take your shoes
I
off.
suppose.
The reason I like hallways is a delivery driver comes to your door,
He's not
you
stealing your
open
whole
it.
house.
No, you go out the room. You're not suddenly, everyone in the lounge is suddenly like, oh, staring at him, he's staring at you. A mate comes around or something, take your shoes off, and then you go into a room. It's not
But I
just
suppose in the
you
US,
walk in, you're there.
mainly the delivery drivers leave it on the porch anyway.
I guess so. But it just, to me, to be fair, it makes no sense to me because you guys have more room as well. I kind of like the little private hallway because it's private. It adds more privacy even to delivery drivers, people coming in.
And also it keeps the heat contained in the rooms.
Yeah, it also helps out as well. So I'm surprised you guys don't have it because I like it. Let us know if you want a hallway just for the private thing or if you just think I'm talking rubbish. Let us know in the comments.
Build houses in the UK, and you know why? Is it just tradition? I feel like you could really maximize on space and have a much bigger house by knocking those walls down. Now that we've talked about a difference that confuses us about the UK, let's hop across the pond and talk about something that bugs the heck out of us in the States. So this difference, let's just call it stupid granite countertops.
I love
Most
them.
American kitchens seem to have what I like to call stupid granite countertops. The granite that I'm talking about has that shine. It's almost like it has little bits of silver in it. You know,
Yeah,
little
okay.
glitter.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you put a light on it and the counter glitters. Ugh, it's so bad.
You think it just looks maybe a little tacky or a little bit like it's supposed to look luxurious, but maybe it's just kind of...
Yes, that's exactly
It's an attempt
what
to
it
look
is.
posh.
Yeah.
It fails.
But we never saw those in the UK, which was a huge reprieve. We needed that. And so thank you, UK, for helping us recover from stupid granite countertops. Now it's your turn. What differences have you noticed between British and American homes? And
Let us know in the comments. That'll be interesting if you guys got any others. I feel like on that one, it just depends on how you've done it, doesn't it?
Yeah, also,
Every house is
like,
different.
I feel like if your countertops are granite and they match your cabinets, then it looks good.
It can be nice. You just got to go in and be like, this either looks rubbish or it doesn't. It's all
Yeah.
personal in that moment, isn't it? Smash that like button if you enjoy, guys. Smash the subscribe button. This was a super long one.
were.
Let us know if you want us to react to these again. I'd definitely be up for
Yeah.
it. But be prepared for long ones because we like to talk. They like to talk as well, which is all positive
Good.
all round. Smash that like button, guys. Smash the subscribe button and watch the video.
Have a fantastic day.
And we'll see you, legends, in the next one. Peace.